PC fam, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chill with Chill. I know we just saw y'all a few hours ago on the panel, but welcome back. We're glad y'all made time to come and check us out today. As y'all know, Thursdays are somewhat of a briefer episode, but we still got a lot of good hoop talk to have. Chill, how's it going?
You know what we do, Ox? We got to keep this thing moving, man. We got to keep the train moving. People want to see us. This is what y'all asked for. That's why we here. We wouldn't be here on Thursday if y'all ain't asked for us.
Thanks.
That's why we here. We here because y'all asked for us, so y'all getting us.
As y'all know, the title of the show, man, the Grizzlies will not make the NBA playoffs, and it's time to blow it up. We'll get into those things. Brian A has something to say. Apparently, everything is not fine in the West.
Clearly not, Ox.
Guess they not
Clearly
good
not, man. It is not, yo. It was, in the words of Jay-Z, everything was all good just a week ago. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It ain't all good now. It's looking way different now than what it was. They're on I think a 4-game losing streak. They've lost 7 of their last 9 games. They're at the bottom of the league in pick and roll and pick and dive offense. They still got one of the better offenses in the league, and they still play with one of the fastest paces. And Ja, who's now getting the ball more, but they've got a nightmare of a schedule coming up. So that doesn't help them at all. In fact, that's to their detriment, if I'm being honest, because if I look at the rest of the if I look at the rest of the Western Conference as of today, Ox, on April the 3rd, as of today, the Memphis Grizzlies are in 8th place. But from 5 to 8 is only separated by half a game. So they could very well jump back up to the 5 spot. But here's what has to happen, realistically. In order for that to happen, the Clippers, Minnesota, Golden State all got to go to pieces in order for them to jump back up to the 5 spot or to get out of the play-in tournament. So the way that they've been playing and the way that they've been trending, you know, they're losing by almost double digits. They're getting served. Not only are they getting served, they're getting out-rebounded. This team defensively, this team defensively has just not been what it was 2 weeks ago. And this 4-game losing streak is a product of that. So I can't sit back and say, well, this is just a rough patch. You shouldn't have a rough patch at this juncture of the season. Ox, me and you had this conversation weeks ago that the season is broken down into thirds. The first third of the season, we're trying to figure out what we got. We're trying to figure out rotations. We're trying to figure out the offense. Then you got the second third of the season. That's the monotonous time of the season where games are just going on and you're just trying to get through the dog days of the season. It's cold outside. And then we got the last third of the season where injuries have basically been healed up. We're ramping up for the playoffs. We're getting everybody together. We should have our rotations down. Our defense should be what it is. We're at this point in the season where the kinks that we should be working out should have already been worked out. We shouldn't have 4, 5, 6-game losing streaks at this juncture of the season. No, we shouldn't. Right. And the Memphis Grizzlies are trending in the wrong direction.
Very wrong, very bad direction. I wasn't high on the Grizzlies at all at the beginning of the season. But after a while, I'll accept it. Okay, they must be one of the better teams in the West. But then these other teams, they just seem to get it together. You know, Denver got it together. The Lakers got it together. You know, teams like that. The Warriors got it together. So those are things that I see. Chill. I look at it now. And as you said, the Grizzlies are in the play-in right now. They are the 8th seed. And mind you, the Sacramento Kings, my Sacramento Kings, we do not deserve to have a shot at the playoffs.
You don't even think y'all should make the playoffs, is what you're telling me.
No, it's ridiculous. At this point, I'm looking at it like this is crazy. This is not a playoff caliber basketball team. We don't deserve a shot. Just being fully transparent. I'm of the mind. I think Mars said this before. The play-in is cool, I guess, if all 4 of these teams are separated by a game or two. But when there's this gap, it's like these are the top 8. That's the playoffs right there. You know what I'm saying? That's how it should be.
Right.
But since it's not that way, chill. It is very possible that the Kings or the Mavericks could end up with that 8th seed. I'm not confident in the Memphis Grizzlies' ability to beat those teams in a one-game situation.
Especially when you're looking at how the Memphis Grizzlies have been playing and what's going on with Dallas right now. Okay, they got Gafford back in the lineup. They got AD back in the lineup. They're getting Lively back in the lineup. PJ Washington's back in the lineup. This is the team that we were talking about when they made the trade for Anthony Davis. And since he's been in the lineup, they only lost one time, right? In the 5 games that he's been in the lineup, they've only lost one time. He's been dominant on the defensive end of the floor. He's one of the best defensive, if not the best defensive player in the game in some estimations. They go to him a lot for buckets. If I think about what Memphis is doing in terms of trending the other way, in terms of defense, and I don't say this lightly, Ox, Anthony Davis, every time he sees Jaren Jackson, he kicks his ass. He gives him the business. He 100% gives him the business. So with that
Anthony Davis, not this nobody that Luka got traded for. Is that what you're talking about? Are you talking about this?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Superstar that Luka got traded for.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That Dallas got in return.
Yep, the guy that everybody says was a joke. The guy that everybody says is injury prone. It's the same guy who played almost 90% of the games last year. He was on pace, but the same injury that he had this year, by the way, same injury. He was on pace to playing over 90% of the games this year. Got bowled in the face yesterday, split his eye open, came back, and put 35 and 34 and 15 and 3 blocks on Atlanta last night. This Dallas team, I think that they're trending in the right direction, and I also think that with what they have in Anthony Davis, I think that they're going to be trouble. Now, if you're talking about Memphis in a one-game playoff series, Ox, the way that they're going, it just doesn't look good. So is it realistic to think that they couldn't make the playoffs? This might be the biggest drop-off since the play-in tournament started.
I was just going to ask you that, Chill. Have you seen a team just crumble like this? Like there has to be some examples. Can you think of any team that just crumbled like this at the end of the season and just could actually fall out of the playoffs?
There are none.
I'm sorry, Coach Jennings.
Taylor Jenkins.
Taylor Jenkins. I'm gonna call him Taylor Jenkins. Taylor Jenkins.
Sure.
Is he a scapegoat?
Yes, 100% he is. And you know, the ball was taken out of Ja's hands. Even though they got right outside the top 5 in the league in offense, even though they play with one of the fastest paces in the league, which is conducive to Ja's game. Like what we are leaving out is that, you know, Ja's jump shot is going the other way. But I'm going to get back to that in a second. Ox, today, April 3rd, just literally 2 weeks ago, right? The middle of March, 2 weeks ago, the Memphis Grizzlies were at the top of the Western Conference. They were in second place literally 2 weeks ago. They go on this slide. Minnesota is rolling. Golden State is rolling. The Clippers started to get it together. The Lakers started rolling. In the process of that, this was the worst time for them to have this fall. I have in my lifetime, I haven't seen a team, especially in the Western Conference, when the race is this close. I have not seen a team go to pieces like the Memphis Grizzlies have. We're talking about a team that was in second place in the Western Conference they may miss the playoffs, Ox. That's not ridiculous to think that they could miss the playoffs.
I'm guaranteeing it, Chill. I'm guaranteeing it. I'm like guaranteeing it.
Okay, so today, the regular season is over today, and they got to see. I want to make sure that I'm getting it correct. So today, the regular season is over. They got to see the Clippers for that 7th spot. I hate their chances against the Clippers, and the reason why I don't like their chances against the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard has been super sharp. He's been healthy. There was this little spat between him and James Harden, but Kawhi Leonard cleaned that up really quickly. He was like, this is what happens with basketball players. Basketball players, me and Ox on the court, me and Ox might have some words. That doesn't mean that that's going to affect our game.
That's normal. That's
all it is. You know, Ox might be screaming at me to get around the screen, and I might be screaming at him to rebound. But so what? That's part of the game. And that's all that was. And that's Kawhi Leonard talking about James Harden, and James Harden talking about Kawhi Leonard, you know, challenging each other to get better. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But
Right.
when I look at what the Clippers are doing with how good Kawhi Leonard is in transition, his stop and pop game, he's not. You've roasted me for this, and I have to say that I'm in a space with Kawhi Leonard where I'm just enjoying what's going on, and what's going on right now with Kawhi Leonard. His ability to get to the rim, his ability, it might not be what it was 3, 4, 5 years ago, but it's still effective. He can still get to the spots that that's necessary. He's still one of the better ball handlers. He's still one of the better ball handlers in the game today. Not only is he still one of the better ball handlers in the game today, he's still a solid defender. He can stay in front of a guy. His hands stay busy. He can still get on the glass and help you rebound. On top of that, you got one of the best shot creators and playmakers in the game in James Harden. You got a glass cleaner in Zubac, which you don't have in Memphis, by the way. So that means that I feel like he can completely neutralize what Jaren Jackson is doing. Completely neutralize.
I'm not sure if Jaren Jackson has much of an impact on that game against the Clippers.
I mean, as a bucket getter, 22, 23 a game, I think that he'll have some impact as a scorer, no question about that. But we could get to a point where he could be taken out of games. And what I mean when I say that is when you get dominated on the glass, that's you and I had this conversation. When you get dominated on the glass, that's a huge problem as a big for the rest of our crew, because that's part of your job. I understand the idea that we're gang rebounding, but part of my job as a 2 guard is to make shots. That's part of my job as a shooting guard. Part of your job as a big, especially a 4 or 5, is to rebound. That is part 100%. Of your job. So if 100%. You're not doing that, not only Ox, if you're not doing that, but if the guy that you're going up against is doing that way more effectively than you, that puts us in that puts us in a huge bind. And Zubac is one of the best glass cleaners in the league.
Oh,
and
for sure.
He's one of the best glass cleaners in the league. And I feel like Jaren Jackson could get pushed around. That's why Anthony Davis pushes him around like he does. Because Anthony Davis is one of the better glass cleaners in the league.
When we have that conversation or debate or whatever it is about Jaren Jackson's rebounding or lack thereof, it's usually saying, oh, well, Memphis gets a bunch of rebounds. They're great. They gang rebounds. So what does it matter? And I've somewhat conceded that point. I said, you know what? I can get with that thought process. But there are going to be times where I need my big man to come through with 11 rebounds. I need you to come get 12 rebounds sometimes. I do think that this Clippers game might be one of those games, if that does end up being the matchup, this could be one of those times where, yo, Jaren, we needed 12 big boards from you today. And, and four of those needed to be offensive. And if we can't get that from you, we're going to get dominated.
Ox, what happens if I get a 20-20 game from Zubac? Which is not ridiculous to think. I could get a 20-20 game from him.
It's more chill. I think it's more likely that he gets a 20 and 15. I'll call it 20 and 15. I think it's more likely that he gets a 20 and 15 game than a bad one. You know what I mean? And that's dominant. I don't know if the young fella Zach Edey is strong enough, mature enough, or fast enough to get to the ball to slow Zubac down. And I know Jaren Jackson can't out rebound Zubac. That can change the game right there.
Right. So with that, and with that being said, I think that with the Clippers offense, with Norman Powell having James Harden creating shots for him, and Norman Powell also being able to get downhill the way he gets downhill, knock down open shots, Kawhi Leonard being the demon that he is as an individual player offensively. On top of that, Chris Dunn, whom for all intents and purposes has difficulties not consistently knocking down shots, putting so much pressure on Memphis's offense, you could take a lot of those guys out of a game. So I think Chris Dunn can neutralize what Desmond Bane is trying to do. And when he's doing that, that makes for I feel like that makes for a disaster of a situation for the Memphis Grizzlies. Because what happens, Ox, is if they end up losing to the Clippers, what happens if, I don't know, Dallas beats Sacramento? You think Sacramento's out anyway. How do I feel about Memphis against Dallas? To be honest with you, I do like Dallas.
Well, I actually, Chill, I don't think we're out. I just don't think we deserve to be there.
Right.
I think we can beat Dallas and Memphis, but I just don't think we deserve the shot. I don't think we deserve the opportunity. But it is what it is. I mean,
Right.
I think regardless of I don't know. I'm not gonna really give a take on who I think will win between Sac and Dallas, but I think
Yep.
both of them teams can beat Memphis. You know
Both
what I mean?
of them can.
That's where this is coming from. You know, and with that being said, let's say that does happen, whether it's Anthony Davis in the Mavericks or if it's DeMontis in the Kings. Once Memphis does miss the playoffs, because I'm sitting here right now guaranteeing you, Chill, that Memphis will not be in these playoffs this year.
This is incredible.
What's going to happen this offseason? Is Ja on his way out, or is Jaren on his way out? I think it's more likely Ja goes.
Well, if you think about what the ramifications are right now, so Jaren Jackson is going to be an All-Pro, and he's going to be an All-League defender. So that right there makes my contract negotiations go through the roof. So now I'm eligible for a Supermax. If the Grizzlies aren't interested in paying that, of course, they could look to move in a different direction. I'm already well, that's the thing. I think it's the same thing as what happened with the Knicks in Minnesota, where I think that Julius Randle his contract was up, and the Knicks weren't interested in paying him that kind of money, and they felt more comfortable paying Cat, so they made the trade. And the same logic with Minnesota. Minnesota thought that Cat might have been a little bit too pricey for them, so because he was a little too pricey for them, they'd much rather go with Julius Randle. Damn good player, but we got him for cheaper. We could have that same kind of situation with Jaren Jackson, but the question is for whom, though? That's the $1 million question, because when I look at Jaren Jackson as an All-League defender, at 25 years old, as an All-League defender, as an All-NBA performer, it's going to be pretty difficult to replace that. And I'm already on record saying that I would not be surprised if Ja was moved this summer. And there's a certain somebody in South Beach who's pretty good when he picks up the telephone and checks your temperature on a guy to find out, what's going on with him. How do you feel about him these days? And when that happens, next thing you know, you're handing over the keys to your car. Next thing, I don't put him in a Danny Ainge space. No, I don't put him in that space. But you can find yourself, dealing with Pat Riley, giving up more than what you were willing to give up. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ja was moved this summer, considering the injury history, the incidents, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But I would not be surprised when you're dealing with a small market team, Ox. Trying to win gets expensive. This is not baseball. This isn't football. In spaces like this, you got to be very, especially with the new CBA, you got to be very careful about how you're spending your money. Very careful about how you're spending your money, because I can tell you right now, things add up. They already got Desmond Bain on the books for $200 million. Ja's already re-signed. Jaren Jackson is up. I think Gigi Jackson's Rook deal is coming up really soon. I think they got him in the second round. Yeah, his Rook deal is coming up really soon. So they got to make a decision on him. So there's some decisions that are going to have to be made. And it's going to get worse if Memphis doesn't make the playoffs. But I also think, Ox, that these decisions may be better for Memphis off the strength that if they don't make the playoffs, these things could be justified. Well, we ain't make the playoffs, so it's obvious that we're going in a different direction. So let's get off of Ja. So it's obvious that
this skid alone.
Right. You see what happened at the end of the year, and you see what happened at the end of the year. So how bad we were. It's obvious that we have to turn this whole thing around, and we got to start over. It's not ridiculous to think that they'll do that.
I don't think it's to be a thought process. I think it's mandatory to put Ja on the block. It's mandatory to let all the GMs around.
Everybody know, Ox. So you want to just put it out there, you want to pick up the telephone and put out a book.
If they got somewhere, if they got somebody they want, then obviously make those phone calls first. But let's see what we could get. I think it's mandatory that Ja's out of Memphis. I don't look at Ja like I look at Ant. I don't think Ja has carry ability. Ja's a highlight reel. He's a fantastic player, but the carry ability meter is real low for Ja. I think they hold on to Jaren Jackson and see what they can get for Ja. And I think Ja has high value. I think a lot of teams will pay top dollar for Ja.
I'm just thinking,
you can't. unless you have to come off of Jaren Jackson, hold on to Jaren Jackson, shop Ja, and let's keep this thing going.
So we're basically moving off of Ja and we building this thing around Jaren Jackson. And essentially what we're doing is kind of what's going on in Dallas, which there seems to be a trend where we're building our team around defensive bigs. That's what's going on in Cleveland with Mobley. That's what's going on now in Dallas with Anthony Davis. It seems to be what's going on in Miami with both Bam and Ware. It seems like this is the trend where we're moving toward building our teams around defensive bigs, and we'll shore up the rest with damn good offensive players. That seems to be the trend that we're moving in.
I like that trend. I think that's a good. I think that's a good trend. If you can,
that seems to be the trend that we're moving in.
If you have a big man that can, play, that you can build a defense around, and he's not a slouch on the offensive end either, I think that's a good place to start. Personally, but
I don't hate it.
Yeah, and I mean, Ja Miami chill. I would like that. I think Ja would fit in real nice down there in Miami. I think you would have to make Pat Riley come off of obviously Tyler Hero, maybe even Andrew Wiggins too. Some picks. Whatever you can get. Obviously sell as high as possible.
Look at my roster, Ox. Okay, take Bam off the roster. Take Ware off the roster. What else you like? Because we're in the same situation that y'all in with Jaren Jackson, where Tyler Hero is up this season. Tyler Hero is up this season, and he's eligible for a really big contract this summer. Pat Riley is not interested in paying him no $330 million. He is not interested in doing that. Not Tyler Hero. He not. No way. So, with that being said, Ox, I am pushing my roster in front of you, and I am Xing out Bam Adebayo. I'm Xing out Khalil Ware, and I'm telling you, what do you like?
Who do you want? Come in.
That's what you want. What you like? These two guys aren't available, but the rest of this stuff, what you like?
Yeah, and speaking of Ja, and I know you had quickly brought it up for a second, but the league also ruled that there's not going to be any consequence to the whole thing with him and Buddy. And I think that's right. I don't think it should be. It's no big deal. I mean, it can be a big deal just with the history thing, but I don't think it was malicious, and the NBA doesn't think it was malicious either. So, how do you feel about that?
Well, they did issue a warning, and the warning was more of, we know you, and we know your priors, and we can't have this kind of stuff going on. It's kind of like just being in the neighborhood and telling you, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I ain't saying that you in trouble right now, but I am watching you. And I'm only watching you because of the nonsense that you had going on in the past. I wouldn't do that normally because, I'm not watching Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield doesn't have any history of getting down like that, right? So Ja actually has that kind of history. So, yes, I am watching you. Yeah.
That's fair. So we got the MVP, the top two MVP guys, obviously Jokic and SGA. They have both been in some legacy talks recently, going around Twitter, going around the internet. Let's start with Jokic. I want to start with Jokic. The legacy talks that I've been seeing Jokic in is about this whole what's going to happen when Jokic is retired and his jersey number, and is Denver going to finally do the right thing and retire Carmelo Anthony's number? These are some just negative talk things going around. How do you feel about that?
I'm actually a fan of retiring jersey. People who aren't a fan of it, my coach Tony Tone, he's not a fan of it at all. I actually dig the idea of honoring a guy. I'm not a fan of that. I want to immortalize a guy and let everybody know this guy was here 50 years from now. I want everybody to know this is what was going on. 100 years from now, when we gone, I still want everybody to know, this is what was going on here 50 years ago. This is what was going on here 75 years ago. And I personally don't think that they got it right, Ox. I don't think Joker should have even been wearing 15. 15 should have been in the rafters. I don't think that number should have even been available to Joker because of what Carmelo Anthony did. I think that one of the main reasons why they did it was because the way Carmelo Anthony left Denver, and he basically, forced his way out of there. So maybe there was some ill will and there was some feelings about it. They felt a certain way. Even though I would think that you would have gotten past that because, they got Joker 5 years later. It wasn't like they got Joker like a year later and he put Carmelo in. No, this was 5 years later. This jersey should have been off limits. But this is where we are. When you have players like Carmelo Anthony on your roster, Ox, there is no way for me to not immortalize him. So if you're going to hang the number 15 up, if I'm going to hang the number 15 up, I can't hang the number 15 up with just Joker on it. Even if Joker did more, even if Joker was a better player, I still got to put Carmelo Anthony's name on that too. I cannot not do that. Now, there's some people who just want to put it in a Ring of Honor, like what they do with the Cowboys. And if you want to wear 88, this is who wore 88 before you. I'm one of those people who I don't believe that once this number is worn and this guy has been the best or one of the best, that this number should be worn again. So, no, I'm not a fan of that at all. 23, there's a reason why 23 is hanging in the rafters in Chicago. There's a reason why 33 is hanging in the rafters in Boston. No, nobody's wearing this number again. Nobody.
33 should be 33 in the rafters in Chicago too.
There's a reason why number 33 is hanging in the rafters in Chicago. And nobody wearing this number again. This guy was awesome. And people need to know 40, 50 years from now, we had a dude here who was fantastic. His name was Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, I feel this. I like that way. I'm always been a fan of jersey retirements and stuff like that. But also with the Ring of Honor thing for the Cowboys, I think that's pretty dope too. As long as you do something to remember the guys that that put in work here, it's all love to me. So that's one of the legacy talks been going on with the great today. Another great team and player in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder. They have been in talks about who would win between them, the 2025 Thunder, and the 2015 Thunder. That's been going around a lot.
I think what we get wrapped up in is how good like individual players are and completely leaving out schemes and how important this scheme is for this specific team, how good this team is defensively, how good this team is offensively, how can you counter what this team does? Where are the holes on this team as opposed to on this team? What era are we playing in? How does your game translate to different eras? And when I think about this 2025 Oklahoma City Thunder team, I think that they're revolutionary because there aren't many holes in their offense. They have guys who can put pressure on defense. They have guys who are great defensively. They have guys who are versatile defensively. And I hear stuff like, who's guarding KD? Well, again, Ox, I'm of the belief that great players are going to get theirs. That's just the way that is. KD is not going to get shut down. That's not going to happen. KD is not going to get shut down. But you know what else? Neither is SGA. SGA is not getting shut down. But we have a situation in Oklahoma City in 2016 where you have a couple of guys that they're not really as well inclined to play in that kind of setting. And a guy like Andre Roberson, we have a difficult time finding minutes for him because he doesn't really put a lot of pressure on the defense. As good as he is as a defensive player, that's not good enough anymore, Ox. I can't have you the days of, and I know you're going to kill me for this, but the days of Dennis Rodman, the days of specialists, of guys that just defend and rebound, you have to be able to put pressure on the offense. On the defense. You have to be able to do that. Otherwise, you get played off the floor. Like guys like Tristan Thompson, you can't play because you can't score. And I'm not saying that you got to average 30. I'm not saying that you got to average 35. What I am saying is that you have to be able to put pressure on the defense where they have to honor you. And if they don't, then we can't have you out here. You just taking up space. And I feel like a guy like Andre Roberson in today's game, how wide open the game is and how much space he would have to cover as a defender, that's going to be taxing enough. On top of that, he now has to make open shots consistently, and he can't do that. That takes him off the floor. And then you add in when you add in Russ, who we can, as a defensive team, we can do everything that we can to keep Russ at bay. And Steven Adams needs guys like Russ to create shots for him. Now, if you got a defensive team like the Oklahoma City Thunder that do what they do defensively on the wing, shoot gaps, great rotations, great communication. When you have a team like that, and now a guy like Steven Adams is relying heavily on him in order to get shots, that's going to be a problem. Now, on the defensive end, Steven Adams is a glass cleaner. But Oklahoma City is one of the best gang rebounding teams with Hartenstein, who does rebound, and Chet, who does rebound. So now you can neutralize Steven Adams, not only on the offensive end, but on the defensive end too. None of these guys on the Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't think you can neutralize them nearly as much on the 2025 team as the 2016 team. I think, and this may be a hot take for you, Ox, but I think this 25 team serves them dudes in like 5 games. I think they smoked them. I do. Yes. I think they smoked them dudes. Yes. I think they smoked them dudes. Yes, sir. I do.
I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. I think when you look at a game like this, there's so many good points to be made from both teams that I can't really call it. It's just one of those things like, damn, this is one of them hypotheticals I really wish we could see.
What you do know for a fact, though, is Oklahoma City is going to win. You know that for a
fact. Right, facts. So that's what's up. 5 games, either way, that's rough. That's hard for me to wrap my head around. I'm just thinking about size. I'm thinking about Steven Adams. I'm thinking about Serge Ibaka. Thinking about how much of a killer Kevin Durant was at that time. How fast and explosive Russell Westbrook is. I think it's hard. I think it'll be a hard time for them to slow Russ down. Russ was so fast, so athletic, so explosive at this point. If they could get him a little frazzled, if they could get him to cough up the pill a little bit, then I could see that. I just don't know if they'll be able to. And well, no, Russ will definitely have some turnovers, but it's also just like all the other stuff he's bringing to Kevin Durant. He's having whatever he wants. That version of Kevin Durant is doing anything he wants. But to your point, who can stop Shea? And the defense they have it's smothering. So I wish, once again, I just wish that was one of those things we could see. It's a good topic. It's a good topic for discussion. I hope we see that question in the PCL. I hope we see that question in the Elite 8 or the Final 4 or the championship of the PCL. So that would be pretty dope. That would be pretty dope.
Yep.
But in the meantime, let me grab a couple of these super chats and then let's see who's in the lobby. First super chat we got from Lee Mack. Lee Mack says, "At work today, I'll show you guys another vinyl record next time."
All right.
Right on. I appreciate it, man. Pop up next time. Click on the link. You know where to find the link. Dudley Dastonot became a YouTube member. Shout out to you.
Welcome, brother. Welcome, brother.
Lee Mack with another one. He says, "Hey fellas, hope you're both doing well. Wondering what you guys' top 5 MVP performances are all time.
All time.
Yeah,
top 5 MVP performances. So are we talking about when they won the league MVP or top 5? Like a guy won the league MVP, and what is their top? What are their 5 best performances? All right. Well, let's see. So, of course, James, that masterclass that he had in 13, that met that in the NBA Finals in Game 7, he was nothing short of fantastic. Shaq and his performance in top 5. I got to pick 5 of them. Russell's 30 and 40 Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Let's see. Jabbar's 34, 33 and 17. game in the final. I'm thinking about best performances. Kobe Bryant's 48-16 game against the Sacramento Kings. Sorry, Ox, against the Sacramento Kings in 2001. Like I said, Shaq in 2001 against the Kings, he went 40-20. I think in game two, I'm sorry. Yeah, he went 40-20 in that game. Let's see. Those are the four that I'm thinking about off the top of my head. Jordan. Let's see. Jordan. Oh, of course, Jordan's 63 game performance in the playoffs. They ended up losing that game, but I can probably give you something better than that. Jordan's 55 game performance in the finals in '93. So those are some that I'm thinking about off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I know we probably could have skipped the Shaq and Kobe performances, but it happens. You know, it happens. So guess we got to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get to the lobby. Let's see who we got back here. Let's see what type of food hoop talk we got. Let me see. Okay, first come first serve. My man Leaf Diggy. What's good, Leaf?
What's good, Bobby? I'll be honest with you, bro. With this Memphis team, this look like we looking at the beginning of the end. And they probably gonna get rid of Triple J and Ja Morant after this season. I don't see them finishing another season with neither one of them. In that front office, I don't think that front office is confident enough to give out 330 mil to for 5 years to Triple J, because that's probably what he's looking at if he makes first team all defense.
Just all pro.
All NBA team.
Just being an all pro. He don't even have to make first team or nothing like that. Just being all pro. Just being on an all NBA team and being on an all league defensive team. That's it. That's all he got to do.
If he somehow wins defensive player of the year, then that's 330. And they probably gonna do him like the Mavericks did Luka. I'm almost certain of that. I think Ja Morant his days is about numbered over there. I like it. The Grizzlies pretty much they didn't finish the story. They didn't finish the story. They got all of these dudes 4 years ago. I think they got Triple J first, then they got Ja Morant second. With Taylor Jenkins and that's that first year. They was rising in the standings each year.
So the way
A year.
I don't know if you know this, Leaf, but the way the Supermax works is one of these four things has to be going on. You have to be entering 8, 9, or 10 years with your rookie contract. That's number one. Number two, you have to have won an MVP in any of the past 3 seasons. 3, defensive player of the year in any of the last 2 years. Or 4, made an all NBA team in the most recent or prior 2 seasons. One of those 4 has to happen if you're going to be a Supermax player. That's the deal.
But my bad, my phone rung. I ain't hear nothing you just said. Repeat that again.
What I was saying is with the Supermax, one of these 4 things you have to have done. You have to either be entering year 8, 9, or 10 of your rookie deal, of your rookie contract, which isn't you can't be still on a rookie deal in year 8 or year 9, so that doesn't work. You have to have won the league MVP in the last 3 seasons. You got to be the defensive player of the year in any of the last 2 years, or you have to be an all pro or an all league defender in the last 2 seasons. One of those 4 things makes you eligible for a Supermax.
And Triple J has done at least one of those. He was defensive player of the year 2 years ago. So I mean
3 years ago.
3 years ago. Okay, so
no, you're right. It was 23. I'm sorry. It was 2 years
23?
ago. Right.
Yeah. So I mean, if that front office was crazy enough to fire coach nine games before the season ends,
correct.
Listen, I don't really believe in them paying him. I think they kind of over the Ja Morant era. And that said as well, about the Eastern Conference, just to get in the East, excuse me, the Western Conference and I'm gonna make myself real clear when I say this. Do I think the Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Clippers can win a playoff series? Yes. Do I think they will win a playoff series? Hell no. I don't think neither one of them teams is winning no playoff series, man. We already know what this is. So Bobby, get this Clippers shit out of your mind, bro. I'm sick and tired of it. This the last time we're gonna talk about this. Get this out of your mind. It ain't gonna be what you think it's gonna be. By the
I
way,
don't think I'm ready for the run that Kawhi Leonard's getting ready to go on, but that's okay.
I'm bro. You not ready for it neither. You know why? Because the shit ain't gonna happen. That's why we know how the story ends. I gotta give Chill some credit about the Houston Rockets. They did manage to win 50 games, like he said he was. He also said 8 teams is gonna win 50 games, but don't look like that shit is happening. But the Houston Rockets they just don't have enough offensively. I mean, even though they got guys playing better. I mean, Jalen Green is slowly starting to play better. Sangoon, he's a good passer. He's a good passer out of the post. You know what I'm saying? Like he could do things in the post, but I don't got them beating nobody. I don't got them beating nobody in the 7-game series. I don't got them beating Minnesota in the 7-game series. I don't got them beating who else is at 7? They might beat Memphis.
Minnesota. They would be. I think they would beat Memphis. That's of course if Memphis ended
They
up
would
with
beat
the 7
they would
spot.
beat Memphis.
I
Yeah,
think Houston
they
would beat
beat Memphis because Memphis is falling apart. So yeah, so they can win a playoff series.
So
The Clippers is
let me ask you this. So with the Lakers are 4 games away from 50 games. Could they win 4 games?
what's that schedule looking like?
It's looking tricky, but could they? Like, they got 8 more games left. No, I'm sorry.
I gotta look at that schedule.
7. They got 7 more games left. Yeah. So they got 7 more games left.
I gotta look at that schedule.
Denver's 3 games away. Denver's 3 games away from winning 50. Golden State, Minnesota, Clippers are all 6 games away from winning 50. That would be 8 teams. I'm sorry, that'd be 7 teams that are away from 50 games.
Somebody, it's a lot of teams that's not making it to no 50 wins. I
think I'll get 6. To be honest with you, I think of 1, 2, 3. I think 5 of those of the 8 playoff teams are going to win 50 games. 5 of them.
I gotta look at these. I gotta look at the schedules. But look, Bobby,
check out the schedule. Leaf. Get back to us on Saturday. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, Bobby, get that Clipper shit out of your mind. It's over with. Stop doing this. Cause you got Chilltown on a ledge and you trying to push him off.
I'm already on the train. It's too late. I'm on the train. No. It's too late, Leaf. I'm on the train. And when
just keep watching the damn train. Jump the hell off.
I tried to jump off, Leaf, and I'm getting dragged back on the train. I'm jumping off and I'm getting dragged back on the train. So
I just want to say this real quick because this is something that needs to be discussed. Leaf, you just sat here, and I know when you were saying it, something didn't sound right, but I realized because you said the Houston Rockets and the Clippers can't win the playoff series, or whatever. They're gonna play each other first round of the playoffs. Yeah, and Kawhi Leonard is going to terrorize them. They're gonna beat Houston in 5, maybe a sweep. Bro, this is and then after that they play the Lakers or the Timberwolves. Yeah, Leaf, keep watching ball, bro. Just keep watching ball.
Oh, so matchups. You leaning on that? That's what you leaning on?
I'm not leaning on it. I'm just telling you who they're gonna play. Who they're playing. Leaf.
No.
By default, I'm leaning on matchups because
that's Bobby. Before I get up out of here, you guarantee that the Clippers is gonna play the Houston Rockets in the first round.
I can't guarantee nothing. I could just see what I see right now, and it looks like that's gonna be the 7-2. And if they play, I can guarantee you that they beat the Rockets. Yeah.
I will tell you this before I leave. If Kawhi Leonard finishes a playoff run, somebody up in here got to call the FBI, the CIA, the DEA, call every government.
Well, I ain't calling none of them, Leaf. Get up out of here. Calling the FBI. Get out of here, Leaf.
Why the FBI got involved in this? We don't need them dudes involved in this.
No, man. Football. How do you feel about that 60-point triple-double?
Didn't they come in a loss? It's ironic because other two.
I'm not trying to clown, bro. I'm just simply asking.
That wasn't his fault. They should have won that game. Football don't do that, yo. Football don't do that, yo. They should have won that game.
They should have won the game. But my question
was not his fault.
And I've never said that Jokic wasn't bad. This is been my only assertion.
You said he's overrated.
No.
No, which could be true in some levels. It can be true.
All I'm saying is I don't want to use overrated because that implies something.
You don't like that word? You don't like that word?
All I'm saying is his stats overstate his impact.
That sounds overrated.
No. It's not overrated. Overrated to me is like more egregious of a
football. When you have stats that Joker has, people see these stats, and in the process of them seeing these stats, they put Joker in a space that, according to you, these stats don't represent because these stats overstate how good he is. That's overrated.
It overstates his impact and hides the flaws that people don't realize, that he needs to put up those numbers in order to have the same impact as a guy who doesn't need to put up those numbers but does other things on the floor to compensate for not needing to put up extremely gaudy offensive stats or just.
I do agree with that too.
I
do agree with that statement.
Like for instance,
in turn, making them overrated.
No. I don't want to use the word overrated. But let me just put this there.
I'm listening.
If Steph Curry had the same stat line as Jokic, because here's the thing with me with Jokic, right? Mm-hmm. If you look at Jokic's numbers, right, 30 points a game, 13 rebounds, 10 assists, 57% from the field. What is he shooting? 42% from three, right?
Yep.
I would have to agree. You would have to say, based on those numbers, his efficiency and his production, right? This guy must have the highest winning impact of all time, right?
Just off the numbers alone. You ain't see no games. All you're doing is you're looking at the stats.
You don't see how he gets the numbers. You don't see the qualitative. You don't see the team scheme, right? If you just look at his numbers, you would have to say this guy has the highest impact of winning, right? Except that he doesn't. Except that the only time he's made deep playoff runs, Jamal Murray's had to play like a prime Steph Curry. He's only been to two conference finals and he's only been to two conference finals and one finals in his career. And he's had illustrious regular seasons and puts up monster numbers year after year. So why is it that he's putting up these monster numbers, but it doesn't result in more wins, especially in the postseason and even in this season? Look, think about this, right? Jokic is in his absolute prime. He put up 56, 14 and 9 or something crazy like that against the 3-18 Wizards, and they lost.
Correct.
I want you to think about this. If a prime LeBron James put up 56, you didn't see, he put up 56, 60 and 9.
I didn't see the final score. I didn't see what the final score was. I'm just looking at the stats.
What do you think the result of that game was? I don't even need to tell you his
If he went for 56, what else? What is it? 56?
Like 56. Let me look it up right now. 56.
Like 16 and like
56, 16. If I told you prime LeBron James put up 56, 16 and 8.
I think that I didn't see the final score, to be honest with you, football. If I didn't see the final score, I just heard that James went 56, 16 and 8
against the Wizards.
I would have thought that they won going away. That's what I would have thought.
But Jokic, again, he played the Wizards again. You know what he put up the next game? He put up 47. Let me look at this. He put up 40, 13 and 9 against the Wizards on the revenge game. And he lost that one. Again, there is a qualitative aspect about Jokic's game that Swiper in particular purposefully ignores to act like his stats matches his impact. Because if his stats matches his impact, let me ask you a question, Chill.
Yes, sir.
If I told you, knowing LeBron's skill set, right? This is why I talk about the qualitative aspect and why it's weird. We've come full circle, and the eye test is now being undervalued. If I told you for a season, LeBron was averaging 30, 10 and 10, 57% from the field, and 42% from three, what would that look like?
Well, he averaged that, and the team won. I think 66. I think they won 66 games.
And he averaged that. It was on less efficiency, right? And think about the teammates he had versus the teammates that Jokic has.
Right, much better.
And he won 66 games with that team. I don't want to. All I'm saying that there's aspects of Jokic's game where and the team scheme and the fact that he gets all these touches that inflate his numbers a little bit, and then when you add on top of the fact that his defense and his rim protection is so poor, and he needs to put up those numbers to compensate for the other things he lacks, there's a reason why his playoff success doesn't match his regular season numbers. It just doesn't. Because if you look at his numbers, his winning, and you would have to say his winning impact is the greatest of all time. But we know that's not the case. We know that's not the case.
But I think we're being a little bit disingenuous, football. Even though you make some really valid points, you 100% make some.
And
really
I'm not saying he's bad.
That's not where we are. That's not where we are. So the deep playoff runs that we're talking about. So in 2020, I mean that was the first time he was deep into the playoffs. That was the first time. And then in 21, when they ended up getting swept, Jamal Murray tears up his knee. They end up winning the playoff series though. And I care about that kind of stuff as my best player. Can you at least win me a playoff series? Can you do that? I ain't saying that you got to throw the crew on your back and take us all the way to the championship. But can you win me a playoff series? And he did do that. That did.
Chill.
Well, hold on, football, because we got to keep it moving.
No, quick. I'll be quick. Did you see what Jamal Murray did? Do you know what Jamal Murray did in that first round for them to advance
against the Lakers?
No, in 2020.
Oh,
this is what I'm saying.
No, he went toe to toe with.
No. He went more than toe to toe. People talk about always want to bring up LeBron. Oh, Curry or Kyrie should have Finals MVP. This man had 250 balls in one series. All I'm saying is that for Swiper to act like Jokic was just carrying Jamal and that Jamal didn't have to play to an absurd level for them to advance as well as Jokic's great production is just disingenuous. Like, he's a great player, all-time great. All I'm saying is that his stats slightly or whatever overrepresent his impact. That's it. Great player, all-time. That's it.
All right, yo.
All right, football.
Ox, it sounded to me like sound like your record sales might be overstating how dope you are as an artist. Maybe you ain't as nice as I think you are. I mean, you selling a bunch of records, but you might not be as good as what people tell us that you are.
That's actually common in music. You know, there's a lot of people out here, you know, rappers, singers, whatever. They're selling records, and I couldn't listen. I could listen to that ever. But you know, shout out to Jokic, man. Let's see. Here we go. What's up, Classic? Classic.
We had him and then we didn't.
All right. Well,
see if we can get him.
Breezy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up, y'all?
What's going on, Breezy?
Hey, Breezy, are you trying to be the villain, or what you doing? Are you chilling, or you are you trying to be the villain, or you chilling today? What's really good?
Yo,
fam?
It's so much happening, man. Yo, and again, I just want to chill. It's a lot happening. I do the unofficial recap to the battles that y'all do. I had you be in SB, but again, I just came to chill. Shout out to Big Ox. I wanted to ask you your favorite rebuild. What did it look like? You know, because that's what the Brooklyn Nets is doing. We're doing a lot of player development. So a lot of my content is talking about how there's different things that NBA teams do with the season. You got teams that's player developing. You got teams that's contending for a championship. You got different quotas and different goals for different franchises. But just bringing it back to the question, like, do you have a favorite team that you see them build from the draft and then win a championship? Like, what team was that like for you in all your years of basketball? Just your favorite rebuild.
My favorite rebuild. I mean, what the Celtics did was pretty incredible. Getting Kevin McHale, and then Robbie Parrish was a throw-in during that time. The Lakers getting Magic Johnson as a gift because they ended up sticking up the New Orleans Jazz, and then getting James Worthy because they stuck up Cleveland, and then but that wasn't a rebuild, more than a retool. When I think about when I think about a rebuild, I mean, what the Bulls did in the 80s, what Jerry Krause did with getting Jordan, and we're getting Scottie Pippen and getting Horace Grant, but Jordan wasn't his guy. I'm sorry. We're getting Scottie Pippen and getting Horace Grant and getting B.J. Armstrong, getting Charles Oakley, and then flipping Charles Oakley for Bill Cartwright.
Right.
getting Cliff Livingston, getting Scott Williams, getting these guys and building this unit around Jordan through the draft, and them turning into the championship team that they turned into. That was pretty damn impressive. Pretty damn. Detroit did the same thing too. The Bad Boy Pistons, they did the same thing too. But
wait, so they got Isaiah Thomas first, then Joe Dumars. Was it back-to-back years?
No, they got Isaiah in 81. They got Joe Dumars in 85. They traded for Bill Laimbeer. He was in Cleveland and they were garbage. They traded for him. Vinnie Johnson was already on the crew. So they had Vinny, they had Bill Laimbeer, and on top of that, they had Isaiah. Then they get Dennis Rodman and John Sally in the draft. And in the process of that, they get Adrian Dantley in a trade, and Adrian Dantley comes over, and then they end up flipping him for Mark Aguirre. So that was
all up in the span of what, like 5, 6 years?
Like 6 years, yes. Mm-hmm.
So in your estimation, a championship team for the most part is built in about 5 to 6 seasons?
I think the core of it. I think it's built in the core of it. I think you build that in about 3-4 years. That's the core of it. And then at some point, like kind of what's going on with Houston, I feel like that they've built this crew. I feel like they built this group with Jabari, Tari, this kid Amin Thompson, Sengun. I mean, it's been about 3-4 years that this group has been together. So, and it's working. It's clearly working. I love what they're doing in Houston. I love it.
Yeah. That's a dope rebuild. Was I think it might be an easy one, but I gotta speak on those Warriors, man. How grabbing Steph, Clay, and Draymond like that, and then going out into Harrison Barnes, of course, and then going out there and grabbing guys like Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala, and then obviously the big one grabbing Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant leaves, you still able to go get Andrew Wiggins. You hang on to that, win another championship. That was a hell of a rebuild.
Yes, it was.
Big Ox. Can I ask Big Ox a question real quick?
Real quick.
I just wanted to ask, with Jordy Fernandez, him possibly getting the top 3 pick, who do you think would benefit the most by having Jordy Fernandez the day head coach, whoever we draft?
I can't say anybody would benefit necessarily the most. I would say that any young player could benefit from having a coach like Jordy Fernandez, a coach that's eager to teach, a coach that's energetic, you know what I'm saying, a coach that's trying to win. You know, I think any of those, any young player that wants to be great could benefit from coming up under Jordy Fernandez.
And I think that kid is Harper, Ox, because I think that he fits with them at the lead guard spot with him and Cam Thomas. Yeah, I think that works. Yeah, and I think that Jordy Fernandez would really coach him hard and get him. And I feel like he's a really good building block for that crew. Really good.
Yeah, I said that he spelled championship if we draft him. So I agree with you, Chill. But thanks, Chill.
Absolutely. Good to talk to you, brother. Absolutely. Good to talk to you.
All right, Breeze. Okay, let's knock out a couple of these super chats real quick. From the final boss says, no way there's 2 final boss. So inspirational.
There's not 2 final bosses. There's only one, and he ain't here.
And then we have one from Witness E. Guess who snapped Boston's streak? Hashtag be back.
The Celtics did. And by the way, they yesterday's win, that's their 6th straight. They go from losing 10 straight, Ox, to now winning 6 straight. That's what's going on in Miami.
Man, let's check out Miami. Real quick, we are on the way out. Y'all know Thursdays is only an hour, but I do want to bring up something because of who said that? I'm sorry, who said that? I forgot. Oh, Leaf said that about the Celtics and Kawhi Leonard. Did y'all hear Marcus Morris about who was the most dangerous player? And he said it's not Steph Curry. In fact, it's Kawhi Leonard. How do you feel about that?
Ox, we've seen him. We've seen him when he's in his bag. We've seen him when he's healthy. We've seen him when he's got it together. We've seen that. So because we've seen him when he's healthy, we've seen him when he's in his bag, and it's resulted in championships. So that's not to say that it doesn't result in championships with Steph Curry, but that's been the major issue with Leonard. It's because he hasn't been healthy. So if he's healthy, how dangerous is Kawhi Leonard? I don't think that there's anybody that's looking at Kawhi Leonard if he's healthy going, all right, yo, we can deal with them. No. Me and you talked about this a bunch of times, Ox. Teams duck smoke. Teams duck smoke all the time. And
yes, they do.
Which smoke would I rather duck? Do I want what do I want to deal with Curry or do I want to deal with Leonard?
Well, all right, y'all. That's the show. My phone's vibrating now. That's Cheerio.
All right.
So
All right.
We out of here. We out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. PCL Elite 8 kicks off, I believe, Sunday. We don't got the exact times, but when we do, you'll get them first. Y'all just keep tapping into the PCL. It's been a hell of a season. Chill. You're still in it. I'm still in it. Hopefully I'll see you in the championship.
Yeah, hey, that'd be great. I'll be down for that. Absolutely. I'll be down for that. But we'll see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. And if you're ever in the Portland area and you had too much to drink, call my boy. He'll come scoop you up. He won't leave you out there. So we will see you guys soon. Until then, take it light, but take it. Absolutely, man. It's good to see you guys.
All right, y'all. We'll catch y'all tomorrow on the panel. Y'all know what time. Y'all know where to be. You'll see us there. As always, love yourself, drink plenty of water, and never, ever, ever drink and drive. We'll catch y'all next time.
Don't do
Peace.
that. Don't do that.